How many choices are there for vehicles or units that you can get when you live on the road? And there are Class A's, Class B's, which is a van. That's why I put that in the title, because we just call them vans, but they are Class B's. Then we have Class C's and travel trailers, from little teardrops up to way long ones. Fifth wheels, pickup campers. I didn't write in there tents, but you might have a tent. I don't know. Skoolies, SUVs, car campers. There are just so many choices when you get ready to choose whatever it is that you want to use when you live on the road. If you're new to my channel, thank you for coming. My name is Pam. How old am I? I'm 71 years old. I live with my dog Matrix. We are full-timers and we are professional boondockers. This is why I chose a van. 5 reasons I chose a van. Number 1, maneuverability. I am probably the worst backer-upper in the entire world. So I couldn't get a fifth wheel, a travel trailer, anything like that, because that just wasn't gonna work. So a van, mine is 22 feet long. I wish it was only 20, because sometimes I do have to back up. But it's easier to get around, at least for me it is, in a van, than I could imagine a big old Class A, which those are what, 40, 50 feet long. Class C's even are longer than 22 feet, and they're wider. So I just chose a van for maneuverability. That would be one reason. Number 2 reason is stealth parking. Now, I can't always stealth park because my van is 10 feet 6 inches tall, and I got an awning, an AC, and a vent fan sticking out of the top. So it is kind of obvious, but it isn't as obvious as some of these other ones that are right in your face. Class C's all have the paint, the squirrelies on the side, very recognizable. A pickup camper, well, okay, there you go. And a schoolie, no question. Now, car campers and SUVs, that's going to be a little bit different, because you can stealth park a little bit better in those than you can in a van. But because of all the other things, I went with a van, and I have stealth parked before. Go into a neighborhood, if there's street parking everywhere, especially if you can find some other people that have vans, even if they're work vans or big old pickup trucks, it's kind of easy to slide in there. I try to park between 2 houses so they can't, oh, they're with them. Oh, no, they're with them. So, so you can stealth park. It's not as easy as a car camper or an SUV. Off-grid. It's easier to find places to go off-grid in a van, which is a Class B, as I said, than it is a Class A, because they're so big. But that doesn't mean they're not there, because I've seen a lot of Class A's out in the boonies. Travel trailers, they're big, sometimes corners, and once you commit and you go down there, are you ever going to be able to get turned around? I've gone into some pretty tight places with a van, and if I had anything else besides that, I never would have made it. Fifth wheels, a little story about my dad. My mom and my dad lived in a fifth wheel, and they were up in the Smoky Mountains or somewhere like that, and there was an overpass that, as they got there, realized they couldn't go under it. My dad had to back up a fifth wheel down a mountain hill about a mile before they could find a place to turn around, because they couldn't get under the overpass. That wouldn't have been a problem with a van. Even if, and I've had this happen, even if the overpass was too low and I couldn't go through it, even though I'm the world's worst backer-upper, I was able to get out of the situation. Not everybody would have been able to do that in, the type of vehicle that you've chosen to live in. So you can get off grid a little bit easier without as much worry, I guess, as that you get down a bad road, you can't get out, or you can't get turned around, or I don't know. so many different reasons, I guess. I've never had a fifth wheel, a travel trailer, a Class C or a Class B. I think that a Class C is probably going to be the next easiest one, not counting car camping. And I've never had much to do with pickup campers, although my dad had one years and years and years, 100 years ago. But and they're probably very easy to get around as well, but I don't know. But the reason I chose a van was because I could get off grid a little bit easier than maybe the Class C, which would have been the next choice, I guess. Class C. Also, self-contained. My van is self-contained. Even if you build one out, it's going to be self-contained. You're going to have all of the things that you need where you might not have that. When you car camp, you're going to have it, in a Class A or even Class C, maybe even a pickup camper. But because of the other things that go with it that I chose it for, the fact that it was self-contained with cooking, refrigerator, bathroom, all the stuff, then that was a big thing for me, and that was one of the choices. And number 5, and for me, this is really an important one because you just never know where you're going to end up and what's going to happen when you get there. Not that I've had any big problems of any kind, but it gives me great comfort that I can just get up, walk up front, get in the cab, and drive away. I don't have to get out of my home, walk up, get into another vehicle. To get into the vehicle that's pulling it, or just the drive away part. Now, of course, in a car camper and a schoolie, you're going to be able to do that as well. But for me, that was very important. I wanted to be able to feel that I could just drive away without going outside. So that was just me. So those are 5 reasons that I chose a van over anything else. And of course, if you follow me at all, you know I never actually even looked at any of them. But now that I have had some experience, I'm glad I got a van. And when I get my next, when I get my next one, it's also going to be a van. But I'm going to build it out, I think, or have somebody build it out, because there's some different things that I want than what I have in my van right now. Got a lot of good stuff in my description down there, Black Friday stuff. And if you're watching this and it's past Black Friday, then there's also some great stuff in there as well. So happy that you could join us for a minute. And I guess Matrix is playing with Buffalo over there, one of his stuffed toys that he's about ready to finish destroying. And we're moving on to our next place today. So we're getting ready to drive away, and all I have to do is walk up front, get in the cab, and drive away. So I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope you got something out of this. When you're going to go ahead and choose your mode of transportation, think all of these things through before you do it. So anyway, I will see you again tomorrow.